Game Over Man, it's episode 5 of the Science Fiction Rating System, a podcast that aims to rank every science fiction film ever released from 1 to infinity. I am the host, Sam, joined by my co-hosts, as ever, Chris.
Hello.
And Alex.
Hey there.
How is everybody this evening?
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah, ready.
I think we had a strong week this week.
We did. We went through 2 rough weeks there, I think, didn't we? Especially last week was pretty hard work.
Yeah, I was struggling with the format last week.
Yeah,
but we've pulled through, and I think we've got an excellent film, an okay film. No, 2. No, let's not spoil it. But yes, good films.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Bill Paxton for picking great roles, which is, this is why we're here for this one.
Yeah,
it's all because of him. So
Yeah, Bill Paxton sadly passed away. Was it 2 weekends ago now? It was. Yeah.
It was Game
61.
Over Man.
It was literally Game Over Man, yep. Nice, Chris, nice. So we chose to take a look at 3 of his science fiction roles. Today we're going to be looking at Edge of Tomorrow, Predator 2, and Aliens. What else is to say? Nothing really. I've lost my train of thought. I'm a bit out of it, to be honest.
Get on with it.
Get on with it. Well, the list so far is available if people want to look at it.
Thanks, Alex, for saving that. Right, so yes, the list so far, it's got 12 films in it, and it is at sciencefictionratingsystem.com. Won't go through the whole thing, but top is Star Wars, and bottom is Universal Soldier: The Return.
Yes. Terrible.
Which was absolutely terrible.
No, it's terrible that it's at the bottom. It didn't deserve it, but
go
back and listen to it.
Alex, have you seen Regeneration?
No, I haven't.
Because I read a review of The Return after last week's podcast saying that apparently Regeneration is a much, much better film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, it did make me want to watch all the other films, to be honest, and I hope we do visit Universal Soldier at some point.
It wanted me to smash my TV.
The first one's a lot better than
Fair
that
enough.
one. You'd enjoy the first one more, I think. Possibly. Anyway, we're not here to discuss that. We're here for new films this week. So, without further ado, let's get on to this week's first film, which is Edge of Tomorrow. Directed by, I've forgotten his name, Doug Liman. Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bourne guy. Bourne and Swingers and other things.
Yeah, from 2014. Chris, have you got a little intro for this?
Oh, I'm doing this one, am I? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting one because it's about time travel, and I don't like time travel. But just to kick it off, there's a war with extraterrestrials, and Tom Cruise is he's more of an advertising guy who during the war is become like the go-to guy for. I think he'd done a lot of recruiting adverts and things like that. So there's this really sleazy sort of ad man side, which I kind of like. But then it goes... but basically, he ends up as a grunt on like this D-Day type scenario. He gets busted down to private. And he basically gets attacked by an alien. And he ends up having the same day again because he's squirted with some time juice.
Temporal blood.
Juice.
Yeah.
Temporal juice.
And so it's kind of a mix between Saving Private Ryan and Groundhog Day. I don't know.
And Starship Troopers.
Yeah, not so much. Starship Troopers I think is better.
Definitely.
There's a few annoying things in this for me. Because there's a lot of British bit part actors in his team.
Yeah.
And they're guys which you might only see once in a show over here, like in a comedy show. I've got nothing against them. Actually, the fat guy, actually lives near me. I see him down the canal on his bike all the time. And
cool.
He's in Shaun of the Dead, isn't he?
He's in a lot of stuff. He's in so much stuff. But we're seeing him repeatedly like 10 times doing the same thing in a film, so I struggle with that because it's not Bill Murray doing different things every day. This is this one guy doing the same thing every day because everyone isn't aware that it's a different day, so we are actually seeing the same shit.
Yeah, because the key thing that keeps Groundhog Day fresh is that he doesn't just do the same loop, does he? He goes off, learns the piano, goes and meets different people. spends all the time with that homeless guy. Like the
he
concept
learns loads of
evolves,
stuff,
doesn't it? Yeah.
I heard a theory that he'd done that 10,000 times in the story in Groundhog Day, so he'd learnt loads of stuff. But this, so I struggle with that, and I struggle with all time travel things, to be honest, because it's rubbish. And
I think for me, like, I was kind of okay with it. It was all right, not very exciting, till it got to the scene where the scientist starts to explain, the actual science behind it.
I love that scene though, because he does his ad-man thing, going like, "This is great presentation."
Yeah, that's quite funny. Yeah,
but that whole bit where he's explaining the mimics and how they're winning the war because they replay the whole thing over and over again.
Yeah,
that was sort of the moment in the film for me where I was like, okay, I can't. This is a bit too ridiculous now. I'm not really buying this on any level. But
no.
Alex, what was your initial thoughts of it?
Well, because I never saw this at all. I saw the trailer, which ruined the whole loop thing. Which I think actually would have been better if I didn't know that was going to happen.
It's actually called Live, Die, Repeat now. Do you know that?
It had multiple titles. When they were making it, was The Only Way is Kill.
Yeah, which is in the book. It's based on.
Yeah. But the only other thing I saw was a picture of him, Tom Cruise, in that suit, and the photo, the press picture, and he looked so dumb. I mean, it just looked shit. I just thought this looked shit. But actually, I mean, what I liked was and the guy that wrote the book said this is pretty much how he came up with it. I like the kind of video game idea that you're just constantly respawning and getting and like trying a different way of doing things. And I liked the kind of really quite dark comedy of him just dying.
See, I find that really tedious because I think that's the worst thing about video games.
I quite like the different way he dies.
I think I love that concept is good, and it reminded me of Call of Duty 4 classic video game. There's an achievement in that called Mile High Club. There's like a level. So after the game's finished, you're just on a plane, and you've got to kill a few terrorists on this plane. But basically, one shot and you're dead. And it only lasts about 2 minutes, the level, but you have to go through it like hundreds of times, learning literally every angle to get every shot perfect. And by the end of it, you feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And what this film obviously has that conceit, but just doesn't play up to it. Like, you don't see a lot of combat where you could do some amazing scenes where he's literally keeping people over stuff. There's a little bit of that, but it plays way too far into the comedy aspect of him like wisecracking, saying someone's line before that, or the comedy deaths and stuff. Like,
that's true.
If it went into like bullet time at the end, where literally he had everything figured out, like
I thought it would be really good. Would be like if you had like one on a more competent director could do like one long shot across that battlefield, just tracking across it, where he's like literally. Just everything he does is just perfect, taking out people all over the place and lots of, how that look amazing, wouldn't it? That kind of
that would if they'd almost like completing that level, but you see it all in one go completed. That would look pretty cool. Yeah.
And just one more thing on that, I just the end, like the whole. What I like about that,
I fucking hated the end.
Conceit of that though that's clever is that obviously like combat in films is often completely ridiculous. Like Predator 2 and Aliens has got stuff that isn't very believable, and this film gets around that by saying, he can only do what he can do, and Emily Blunt can only do what she did because they've perfected it. But then, of course, the power goes, and they do the most ridiculous thing in the whole film, really, don't they? On one life, in effect. So
I hated the end. I mean, I read as well that they didn't really have an end. They started filming it without an end, which was such a dumb idea because I think as soon as he loses the power to go back, it just becomes shit. And I hated the romance element of it. I thought the romance was
ridiculous.
I sound like you here, but I just it's so ridiculous. I think she was a really good and interesting character, and she just turned into just this kind of it just was rubbish. It just ruined that character for me. That could have been It could have been as good as another character we're going to talk about, but she isn't because she just becomes a soppy. Oh, I love you. I don't want to die, and let's have a kiss, and we can do this. The
only way you'd sell that kiss is if she was also going back over and over again.
She is going back over and over again, though, isn't she?
No, she isn't. She's
not with him. She isn't.
No. She did in the last battle, the Battle of Verdun, whatever it was. But she's lost the power.
So because he has to keep teaching her, bringing her up to a speed, doesn't he?
Yeah. And that's why it doesn't really work, because when she kisses him,
because
she's met him
like
12 hours ago.
The same pace as his, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And why don't they bomb the Louvre? Why don't they, when they find out where the Alpha, whatever it's called, Beta, Omega, Zelta, whatever it's called. Why don't they just drop a fucking nuke? Because France is gone by that point. It's fallen.
But they,
so why don't
but
they
they
just
know,
drop a nuke?
They know they'd be doing that though because of the time, right?
No, because he's lost the power. Because the only reason they know
Yeah.
not going is because he has the blood transfusion,
Yeah.
so the aliens
Yeah.
no longer know he's coming to the Louvre, basically.
Oh right, yeah.
So why don't they just literally do kind of
the shit out
suicide
of it,
bombing,
yeah.
nuke the shit out of it, die, but no, they've blown it up. That's a guaranteed. What they end up doing is so kind of convoluted. It was too dark. It was filmed so dark, and
I don't think it was dark enough.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem with
no,
it.
I mean, like it looked dark. I couldn't see
it looked
what was
awful.
going
That's
on.
why I thought the
Yeah.
beach thing was like a tenth of what Saving Private Ryan was. It just wasn't.
Yes,
It didn't have
yeah.
any reality to it at all.
No,
And it
totally.
was stupid,
No.
like the way they were invading with these helicopter things, and
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was-
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of those suits? They know what those aliens are. They're fast moving.
Yeah.
Get up in your
Mm.
face quickly. What is the point of having these ridiculous
No,
and
parachutes
there's some of
to
them
slow you
walking
down?
along, and they've got like rocket launchers on. They're just firing them like indiscriminately. It's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
no meaning in like actual.
No,
I think it's.
But
I think hearing that they didn't finish the script before starting filming is quite telling, because there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
where if you thought it through, I think the concept is actually really strong, isn't it? And I'm
Yeah.
halfway through the book at the minute, and the book is a lot better than the film.
Why did the aliens actually want to invade? I'm just trying to, because this is I always think about this. Like with that other one, They Live, right?
Yeah,
The aliens had control of us, and what were they doing with their new planet? They were just walking around and shopping and stuff,
yeah,
right?
that's what they like.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's stupid.
and I think it. Well, they speculate in They Live, don't they? They're turning the atmosphere so it's livable for them, and they
Yeah.
get rid of us.
Right.
I think
But
I
they
think the
don't really
idea.
know.
I think the Edge of Tomorrow one is more because it says it's one organism, doesn't it? And it's that sort of alien. It's just like
Yeah, it's like a hive
it's like a
mind
virus,
sort
isn't
of
it?
Mm.
Yeah, a
thing,
virus
isn't it?
that sort
Yeah.
of like a virus does invade
Yeah.
spaces and takes over life. But
Yeah,
um,
they were. I liked the idea, the kind of liquid metal of them, but I thought the graphics just looked like shit Transformers.
When you paused it, they looked weird. They were like
Yeah.
really. It was
Yeah.
like unrendered CG.
yeah, it was strange. It was as though again they've not really got a strong idea of what they're trying to do with it.
No,
I mean,
No.
in the book, they're described as a lot more sort of pointy. Like they've got like they're like that sort of amorphous blob like that, but they've got like spears and lances and stuff that they sort of come out of them,
Yeah.
which I think would have been a nicer sort of thing. It would also make the metal suits make more sense, because if you'd got stuff
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to get through your skin, you'd want metal casing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the perfect example where Hollywood's just taken a book that was perfectly good and then just not translated it literally.
And also,
You
they
know,
seem so powerful that I don't know why they haven't taken over the world quicker.
quicker.
Yeah, that is strange.
When they show them
It's-
coming up
it's
the
5
like the
years, isn't it,
Thames,
they've been there. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
why didn't they do that before? Why? Well, I,
Yeah,
mean, I
they've been
don't.
there
I
5
don't
years.
see. I don't understand what's penning them in, because
Yeah,
we see like on the day where we throw everything at them and they just
Yeah, and the idea that their trap is to make us invade on the beach.
yeah.
Like, I don't. If you could repeat time, you could come up with a much better trap, couldn't you? Than
Yeah.
like an all-out beach invasion.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems like almost the aliens are like fans of Saving Private Ryan and think, let's have a reenactment of that beach scene before we get rid of them, because that'd be nice to
It's
see.
their tribute to Hitler
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, all the I thought that it just over-egged the whole World War II stuff. I think it was just too much of it, really.
I think but again, it was too. It leaned too hard on the comedy side of it. As I think, if it had doubled down on being a war film or on being a comedy, it would have been better. I think it didn't know what it kind of
Yeah.
wanted to be.
No, that's true.
I think
definitely.
all the upper like the general, what's his name, Gleason, and
Brendan
Brendan
Gleeson.
Gleeson, yeah.
all that sort of stuff was kind of pony. It didn't
Yeah,
seem
really.
actually very
It
believable.
felt like a sci-fi channel thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt
Yeah.
really cheap. That did all that bit there.
The
Yeah.
best bit
Yeah.
was probably Heathrow, like
Yeah.
that bit that looked all right. But all the stuff where he was in like the headquarters and shit like that,
Yeah.
and he's being chased by MPs with fucking tasers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
mean,
just
they're
really
at
upset.
war. And there's MPs. They wouldn't use fucking tasers.
They
No.
also the idea that general wouldn't still believe him, despite like explaining his whole life down to like the nth
Yeah.
degree,
Yeah.
is absurd. Like, that's not, especially when they've already got the case of having Emily Blunt, report this before and have gone through like
Yeah.
psych and stuff like that. You'd think, I don't
Yeah.
know. Again, it
Yeah.
just seemed like they they had to hit certain things and they didn't know how to get there. Really, that's,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
a
I was upset to find out there'll be a field dump in Greenwich because that's right where I live. So that's the big one for me. I mean, it takes place in 2061. I think they should have at least submitted to the council by now about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
One other thing as well, like obviously Tom Cruise has come over to BPR or whatever, but how has he ended up in that situation where the general puts him on the front? What is the point of the general putting him in the wall? He can't fight. What is he trying to prove by doing that?
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
whether there should have been another part of the story there, right, where he'd
Yeah.
pissed the general off in some way.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's a missing backstory, isn't
Yeah.
there, between their relationship? Yeah, you're completely right. The motivation didn't make any sense, really.
Yeah. And he wasn't embedded with a film crew or anything like that. It went from him being...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's American, so it's not even like he's someone he's British, so he's this smarmy kind of
Yeah.
non-military man that the general's always hated. Getting
Yeah.
success off the backs of real soldiers. He's an American. Why would he even know about him?
Yeah.
There probably just should have been a scene where where Gleason was... It backed up the fact that he'd been stitched up by this guy in the past, or...
Yeah, definitely. I think there must have been cuts because also, there's a couple of scenes where he almost gets beaten up by a couple of the squad.
Yeah,
And the first time that happens, it seems very much like there was an establishing one before that where you'd actually get beaten up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
didn't happen. Like I think there were cuts
Yeah.
all over the place for it, but I'm not sure that a special edition would save this particularly.
No, I think as well the all of that stuff, like you were saying, Chris, all that stuff with the grunts. Watching Aliens and watching this, you're just like, it's just so badly done compared with how well that is done. It highlighted how, although I thought Bill Paxton was really good, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
He was, he delivered, but still, it really highlighted how misfiring that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His role in it is weird because obviously because they're just repeating it, he's probably only got 10 minutes of unique actual time, hasn't he? Just goes over a few times.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just felt like they kind of wasted everyone except for Cruise and Blunt, didn't it? That they by not letting the timeline go, much different, there wasn't much there to work with, you know what I mean? Like if there'd been more, if he'd done more to change how he approached it each time, it would have perhaps been more interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. I think there was a clever way of making this film, and they didn't do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think, like you said at the start, Chris, there's like fundamentally something wrong with just doing the exact same thing over and over again, and it's a misunderstanding of what made Groundhog Day good.
Yeah.
Because that isn't what.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day has montages, but it has different things going on and stuff like that. And also, it's like Groundhog Day is a love story, and it works because you've got two people actually genuinely getting to know each other, and you see it, don't you? Like you see all that interaction.
Yeah.
And it's Bill Murray. It's just. It's funny stuff.
Or Source Code as well. That works, I think.
Yeah. Source Code's a better film. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's everything.
Safety Not Guaranteed works.
And we should remember that Alex Zane said this was one of the best science fiction films of 2014. So let's just take that into account.
Thanks,
Who's Alex Zane?
Alex Zane.
Who is he?
He's
like
the
radio...
Renter Mob.
he does
film review guy. He
Rude
does everything
Tube.
for like.
I don't know him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, take that in consideration when you're rating it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure he was paid a lot.
By Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got one more note before we move on. I think the end is a complete cop out because why does it reset to a day before it was resetting before to when everyone's alive?
It doesn't make any sense at all. It didn't make any sense at all.
Like why the aliens decided let's do them a favour and go back to when everyone was alive and happy and it's a bit.
Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense.
It's a proper cop out.
Yeah,
Have
they
you
just
got
say something happened.
There's a sequel on the way.
Yeah,
No.
It's come out next year apparently. A sequel and a prequel. I read it described as. So
yeah.
look forward to reviewing that one later down the line. So there is Edge of Tomorrow. We have the list in front of us.
Yeah.
Who should start? Alex, where do you think this should go?
I think below Independence Day,
Yep.
but above Inner Space.
Yeah.
I'm actually in complete agreement with that.
Yeah,
Chris?
I'll take that.
My God. That's
Wow.
a first, isn't it?
Yeah. What's going on?
There's no way it was
hell.
going to be better than Independence Day. No way.
No.
No, it's not.
Independence Day had a war that you actually believed in.
Yeah,
was going on.
and aliens that made sense as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yes.
So these aliens, they just walk around, do they? They're just like, they've got no technology.
Well, they tunnel, don't they? They tunnel under the ground, and
How did they
sort
get
of-
here?
They roll about. They're a bit like. Do you remember those like sort of rubbery, like ball things you had when you were a kid, like spikes sticking out of them?
Yeah.
I can't remember what
Oh,
they
yeah,
were.
yeah.
They used to like throw around. They remind me of those a bit.
I always look out for hidden messages whenever the Scientologists do science fiction as well.
Yeah. Did you notice he got to ride his motorbike in there? Because Tom Cruise loves a motorbike,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
that completely superfluous
okay.
scene.
He
of
didn't get
riding
to
his
fly a
motorbike.
plane, though. Normally he gets to fly a plane as well.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Wasn't he in a helicopter? No, he didn't even get in the helicopter, did he?
No. There
Or
was
did
a
he?
shot
Oh, I
though.
can't
There was
That
you know,
shot
did
where he
stunts.
lands in Trafalgar Square, because I remember when they filmed that, and it was like all in the papers, like, oh, Tom Cruise getting out of in a helicopter in like why the whole of London was locked down for it. Like people couldn't get to work, you know.
Yeah.
People couldn't see their
Thanks.
babies being born in hospitals, and you know,
It was all
this
worth it.
fuckwit getting out of a helicopter.
Have we got much more Tom Cruise to watch? There's Oblivion, isn't there? I can't think what else. What else is he in science fiction? I've not seen Oblivion.
Minority Report.
Oh,
We have to do
yes.
that.
Yeah, Minority Report. Yeah.
And War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah. Oof. Rough.
Oh, I quite like War of the Worlds. Yeah.
Well, that's
I
another
haven't seen
podcast. Let's take a break and come back with our second film. And we are back with our second film of the day. From 1990, it's Predator 2, directed by Stephen Hopkins. Before I hand over to Alex, I'll just say, this is probably my favourite tagline to a film ever. He's in town with a few days to kill. I absolutely love that. It sums it all up perfectly.
Yeah, what am I doing?
So good.
What am I doing?
I just
And
love
why am
how
I telling you
it's
the
kind
plot?
of pedestrian, which is like it's always got that sort of theme going on. With
Yeah,
these sort
it's
of
that
films,
fantastic, like late 80s sort of Die Hard to Die Harder.
He
Like,
might see a show.
we
he
know
might
what we're
go
doing.
to a strip joint. You know,
Yeah,
he's got a
we
few
know what we're
days to
doing.
kill.
Right, so Alex, would you like to give us a little synopsis here?
Sure. So the year is 1997, and Los Angeles is suffering from both a heat wave and a turf war between the heavily armed Colombian and Jamaican drug cartels.
They're led by
Lieutenant-
what's his name?
bloody Jamaicans.
Big Willie.
King Willie.
King Willie. Yeah.
King Willie.
Yeah.
It's Dread Man. Truly Dread. Lieutenant Michael R. Harrigan, played by Danny Glover, heads up a small team of cops dealing with the events the ever-growing war on crime, defying orders and employing his own unconventional tactics when taking down the bad guys. However, during one bloody and brutal raid on the Colombian hideout, he discovers all the enemies have been taken out by hand by an unknown and seemingly invisible vigilante. And when the rival Jamaican voodoo crew are found skinned and suspended from a ceiling, he starts to think this new player in town might actually be from out of this world.
Wow.
There you go.
Did you
Yeah, it's
prepare?
very
You
professional.
prepared that?
I have. That's why I
He's
was
making us
reading
look
it.
bad.
Sorry. I will back that up by saying Predator 2 is one of my favourite films of all time. I love this film so much. I love The Predator. I love Predator, the first film. I love this film. So I found it quite hard. I'm going to find it quite hard to be critical, but I will try and be critical. But yeah, I love this film. So I don't know if I should start, really.
Well, let's just get our initial take. Personally, I am also a big fan of this film. I've never really understood why it got such a bad rap, why it gets such bad reviews. Because to me, it's a perfectly serviceable action film. It's not like a 5-star film, but it's not far off. There's not many other of these sorts of films that I think are as good. I think it's not as good as the first film, but it's not far off the first film. It's very different.
No.
And it's better for that. Chris, what's your take?
I kind of prefer it to the first one because it's kind of a little bit mental. There's a lot of cool things in there, like that gunfight at the beginning is just completely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how it's very 90s in the sense it's just random. So it's got like, I mean, Jamaicans, have they been big, like,
I think
problems
that
in crime. Obviously, they're there
did-
because they're connecting Jamaican dreadlocks and the Predators' dreadlocks and all of that. They're making that sort of connection.
I
there.
think that I read that they based the two gangs on actual gangs that did exist in LA
Right, okay.
at some point. So I mean, that's tenuous, but
Gary Busey for me is always a highlight.
I think that
And I was watching the making of, and he is mental.
he is mental, isn't he? It's one of his best roles though, because he's actually really restrained.
He'd had
for
a bad
Gary Busey
yes.
role, isn't
He'd
he?
had a bad car accident before this
Okay.
film, so he's now on top of whatever he was before. Now he regales everyone on set about how he actually passed over to the other side when he was
Brilliant.
declared dead and then brought back.
wow,
Brilliant.
wow.
So
Make Predator 2.
yes,
Did you know that that role was meant to be played by Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, and
That was Dutch.
John Lithgow as well.
Yeah.
They touted John Lithgow. Neither
Yeah.
would have been as good
how
as
could he?
as Gary.
Oh, no,
Schwarzenegger
no.
have played it.
Well, I think that explains why Busey isn't very Busey-like, isn't it? Because I think
Yeah.
you can see Schwarzenegger, like, having seen what the Predator did, wanting to track it down and get rid of
Yeah.
it.
And being
And-
obsessed with it.
Yeah, being obsessed with it, and like the idea of like him being against Danny Glover, but not actually a bad guy, because Busey really isn't really a bad guy, is he? Just a bit of
No.
a dick.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been automatically that would have been cast as a science geek, that part, because he's like a scientist telling.
He's FBI, isn't he?
Yeah, but
yeah.
he would have been like from a CIA background, like a more of a
Yeah.
technical whiz, I think. But
It would have made huge problems because the whole ultimately Danny Glover's right about everything, much the way Ripley is.
Yeah.
He's right about everything, and it would have been hard to have Arnie and Danny Glover. They'd have had to have joined up. It would have made it a very different, not as good a film at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Not at all.
definitely. Yeah.
sorry, it was going to be actual Arnold Schwarzenegger's character from the first one.
Yeah, Dutch from the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah, was
Okay.
going to be that role.
So,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't Arnie hate the idea that they were setting
Yeah.
in a city? He just
Yeah.
despised that so much that he refused to.
But I think it
Join
makes
in.
him a far better film because it's more varied. Because
100%.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not just
And
trees he's
100%.
jumping around in.
No.
and-
Also, like the first shot of obviously going through the LA jungle and it looking
Yeah.
like Predator One,
Yeah.
it's quite on the nose, but also it's so perfect. Within 30 seconds, you've got the setup. You're now in the urban jungle and there's a war going on. Like
Yeah.
you're into it just like that, on you just straight away.
Yeah.
It's such there's a real economy about how the film's made, isn't there? Like a film nowadays, you'd get some slow crawl, wouldn't you? Of a lot of nonsense going on, and like 20 minutes in.
I wish there was a modern one of these, like where he's just beating up hoodies in London or something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it just combines kind of science fiction, action, and horror very
Yeah.
well, and
I mean, that's
all
the
of
thing.
the elements fire off well.
I mean, if you take the Predator out, you've got a fucking great cop film with Danny Glover being
yeah.
incredible. Like he plays that role
Yeah.
so well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like from the very first, when he gets in that car, at the start and blocks
Yeah.
up the windows and drives sideways in and makes the
Yeah.
cover for them. That is such an awesome,
Yeah.
such a great moment. Yeah, I don't know.
It seemed like they had fun when they made this. Like, really went to town. I love all the stuff at the end, like with where the other predators and their, the
Oh yeah,
the trophies and
Yeah, the alien and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Although it makes you wonder why he's hunting humans if he's killed a T-Rex
Well,
and
it's
an
not a
alien.
T-Rex.
Is it not? Oh,
no,
it's a
no,
T-Rex
it's
one.
just a big alien of some
It's
description.
a T-Rex, isn't it?
Not a T-Rex.
I thought there was a
just
dinosaur
gonna Google
in the
that.
back.
No,
Yeah,
I'm doing a dinosaur course at the moment, and that's not a T-Rex.
Yeah, that is a T-Rex
Well,
skull.
okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, it's meant to be.
Well, I don't know about that. But
He's
and
doing a
also he
course,
gives
I
him the
mean.
antique flintlock pistol as well.
Yeah.
It's good.
That to me is the only bit of that film that I don't like. Because why?
What?
Why is it? Why do that?
What do you mean? Why? Because he won.
Because
he got the
Predators
kill.
exchange-
So he gets a
therefore he
shit-hole
gets
gun.
the.
Why do you want a shit-hole
but
gun?
it proves
Because it's a trophy, it's not a
the
gun.
honour of their. It's a trophy, exactly, and it proves that they've been there, and also it proves they've been there forever. And also, it's very much like, have you read Batman versus Predator? Because it pretty much Batman versus Predator.
Batman
has,
versus Predator. What the fuck?
yes,
Yeah, there's
the-
everything versus Predator.
yeah. But there are three
We'll come
Batman
to that.
versus Predators, and the
Yeah.
first one has a very, very similar plot. There's a heat wave, someone starts killing people, then the Predator starts focusing on Batman, and they have a huge fight. And it pretty much ends exactly the same way, with all the others materialising.
Yeah.
And then they give him an ancient sword, and he
Right.
makes the same jump that they've been here, they've been here forever kind of thing. He makes the same conclusion.
Yeah.
So, no, I love that end.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not there as a workable gun. It's not his gun.
No,
It
I know
probably
that.
never
I
fires,
just
it's
thought it was
a
kind of
trophy.
unnecessary. No, I get that. I just didn't think it was worthwhile. I think they sell the heat wave really well, and that's a really
London
it's a
goes
really
mental
interesting
whenever
thing to
there's
do.
a heat wave. Everyone goes mental.
Yeah.
like it's and like when you go to the police station and it's crowded and everyone's crazy, and the sweat on the faces and the clothes.
Yeah.
You really feel it, don't you? You really feel like
Yeah.
I want
it
to see
would boil over.
RoboCop versus Predator.
Well, don't you think they're very similar films? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
The same
feel-
social comment, isn't
Yeah,
it? The same kind of decaying civilization. It's all just sex, violence, sleaze.
yeah,
The fact in that great shot in the tube when the gang has a gun, then the kind of specky guy has a gun, and then every person on the train has a gun. Like,
yeah.
it's a really good little kind of.
That's a reference
joke.
to an actual thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
America.
it's the scene in the.
No, I can't remember his name. There's a bloke. There's an actual bloke who I can't remember what his name is now.
I think that whole tube scene is ripped from the Predator graphic novel. I think that's pretty much plays out exactly the same in a graphic novel as well. That's what I read.
So, mention the novels. One thing I wanted to bring up was that I think Predator 2 is worse because of the associations it has to other stuff like aliens and things like that. I think that the worst thing they do is bring aliens into it because
yeah,
it's not as good as obviously Alien vs Predator is a terrible film. Like,
So were they
that's an
originally
awful
written
film.
by the same people or something? Within the same?
No.
Why
They're
are
just
they
both made by
connected?
Fox because they're both Fox properties.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that link really harms Predator because I think without Alien, without this idea that he's hunting different species and that he hunted aliens and stuff like that, the less you know about them, the better. That's why Alien works. I think is that you don't want to know this sort of stuff, and it opens a door for Alien vs Predator and things like that.
Yeah.
And as much as I can disregard those films, it's there in your back of your mind, isn't it? You know that
yeah.
you've got this.
No. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
although I did read a good fan theory that Bill Paxton's character in Predator 2 is a descendant of his character in Aliens because they're the
Other way
same
around.
kind of. You like the same kind of wisecracking, like it's like his great, you know,
Yeah.
which is a kind of nice little like fan idea. Like they are very similar characters, except he's more positive in this than he is in Aliens.
I think this is my favourite of the three Bill Paxton
Is
roles
he
I've
the
seen
only
today.
person who's played two
Yeah.
roles in that universe? Then, oh no, the
And
guy
he was in
the guy who played
Terminator, so-
Bishop was in Alien vs Predator, wasn't he?
But he's playing the same actual role in that 'cause he's playing Wayland, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not playing the droid. He was a droid in Aliens.
No, but the droid has got the face of Wayland because in Aliens
Yes.
3 at the end
Okay.
he turns up, doesn't he? And he's like, the droid's got
So
my
that's
face,
like
so he's
a
actually
half.
the same.
Half. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Um,
Continue.
Yeah, so generally, just I think we're all just very positive, aren't we? I think it's. I'm glad we're all positive. I knew you would be, Alex. I was worried, Chris, that you wouldn't be as positive. But I'm glad.
No,
we're
I
all
like.
into it.
I mean, they've
That's
got.
good,
They've set.
yeah.
They've got a playground, which is LA. They've got a badass alien, and they just loads of beating up and shooting and fighting.
And it moves, doesn't it? It just
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Great.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and also when they do, like, they reveal a lot more of the Predator, how the mythos, if you like.
Yeah.
And they do it in a really clever way. So I think a lot of films fuck up when they start showing too much of the
Yeah.
alien. Like I was saying before.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Predator 1 works
Yeah.
so well because you don't know anything about Predator 1 other than he's here to kill people and he's got a pretty fucked up sense of humour. and that's it.
Yeah.
So when they start introducing more sort of weapons, things like that, and they show them all, that could really, really ruin it, couldn't it? But it doesn't. I think they really like...
Well,
They do, and they sell the warrior sort of culture and all. You know, that hunter culture, like
with no speaking at all.
yeah.
yeah,
great.
but it's clever, like you say, because it gives you what you want, which is more Predator. But then there's a couple of like the fact they keep showing you the heat vision, and then in that bit at the end when Gary Busey's like, "Oh, he just uses heat vision, we're gonna beat him," and then you realise he doesn't just have that; he has all the filters.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
yeah.
like it's clever because and the voice recording bit as well, which then has that great bit at the end when the motherfucker bit, which is
Although
a
that makes no
great
sense, does
callback.
it, though? That makes no sense. Cause,
But it's a great callback to the first film.
yeah, but that Predator's dead, so why would that one use the same...
But surely the fight with Arnie is legendary in Predator culture.
Maybe it
No,
was from the
that-
same ship. Maybe. Do you know what I
I
mean?
don't know,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
like
he was
the-
watching it.
That like the flintlock for me. That I didn't like that bit.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry.
It'd been better if the flintlock said Captain Jack Sparrow on it, and then we had a complete smash up of all, and
them
then
in.
that universe, and then bosh, bosh, bosh.
Wow.
We can start getting
That's-
predators in on these.
Pirates of
new
the Caribbean versus
pirates.
Predator.
Yeah.
I hope no one in Hollywood is listening to this because they'll fucking retrofit that, won't they? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That'd be a nightmare.
Although, I mean, really, like, if you're going to do... Wasn't there a Freddy versus Jason versus Predator? Was that is that a
Or
comic, or was it
Maybe
remade
a
something?
comic. I don't know. There's Predator, like you say. There's literally Predator
So answer me
versus
this:
everything.
the Alien versus Predator, was that a video game before they did a film?
It was, and the game is
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, the game's
Like,
amazing.
because the game, actually, there's quite a few games called it, but the best one's by Rebellion, who own 2000 AD now, the Judge Dredd things. And that game, you play as the Predator, the Alien, or Marine, and that you can't save. So
Yeah.
a bit like Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have to go for that level, and if you fuck up, you go back to the start and you start again. And it's
Yeah.
so tense because of that. It's a fucking amazing game.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
do combat films, isn't it? Because otherwise you are just gonna
Yeah.
save.
Yeah, just keep quick saving every corner. And the later games did do that. But no, the game was incredible. And the films,
Yeah.
I mean, the first film is dull.
I watched the
And
making
boring,
of
isn't
that
it?
as well today. I've been watching all the
Did you?
makings of.
God, it's
And-
so bad.
Well, the way they justify the filmmakers justify that. I mean, we'll probably get to that film, but
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Hope so.
yeah,
I think like it does retroactively ruin so much about both franchises, and obviously with Alien it's less important
Yeah.
because Alien has gone so far out its way to ruin itself
Yeah.
over the years, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I think though, again, we will get to. I think Alien vs Predator 2 isn't that bad.
It's awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
No.
The second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Oh
that
my
bad.
God.
Okay. We can discuss it when we
It's
talk
made
we
by
can,
those
but-
VFX geeks. That film.
The
That's-
second's worse than the first one.
No,
the first
we'll,
one at
we'll
least
save
had
it.
that
Let's
sort
save
of
it.
ancient, like the ancient civilization sort of side
I
of
hate
things.
that.
And
I hate that. I hate the Prometheus for that as well. But
Oh
we'll get to
god,
that as well.
yeah, God from
Actually, yeah. Have you seen the trailer for Covenant, Alien Covenant? While
yeah,
we're talking,
again, it's just
no,
it looks
not yet.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, and they are
It's
remaking.
got that
There's a new
comedy
Predator,
guy in
isn't
it.
there?
There is a new Predator, yeah, the Predator, and Shane Black, isn't it? So I actually got some hope
Yeah.
for that because I quite like Shane
Yeah.
Black. Does
Well,
some good
yeah,
stuff.
and he did a lot of the rewriting, didn't he, for
Yeah.
Predator?
the
Yeah,
Predator.
he's in
Yeah.
Predator, isn't he? He's one of the.
Yeah, well, he was at my cinema. He did a Q&A for the one that he wrote, the last one he had. I can't remember the name.
That
of
was
it.
a great film with Ryan Thingy.
Yes, yeah,
What's
yeah.
it called? That's a really good film. That was.
Which one?
I can't
Ryan,
remember the name.
it's got Russell
and
Crowe in
Russell
it.
Crowe.
They're like the detectives.
Yeah,
Oh, The Good Guys.
That's it. Yeah,
yeah. So he was at the
That was like
cinema
a
doing
TV
a-
show. It wasn't like a movie. That.
it was good though,
There's
wasn't
this.
I, don't,
There's
I
this.
fell asleep.
Did you?
but-
I really like that.
It
It's
was
not
weird
sci-fi,
because
though.
we're watching them like they were in it, like they were playing it like it was a TV show. It was strange to see movie stars doing that. That was what was interesting about it. But
Anyway,
But
Alex, sorry.
he was sorry, yeah. But he was at the cinema. He was telling stories, talking about Predator, and he basically said that they wanted him to do rewrites on the script because Joel Silver did because they weren't happy with it. So they flew him out and just said, "Look, we'll fly you out. We'll put you in it. You can be in the film because you're doing fuck all." And he said he was very nervous to be with Arnold Schwarzenegger because he saw Arnie as this great real legend.
Yeah.
And he said there was a particular scene they were both like behind a tree or something ready to film. And he said Arnie just did a massive fart and just turned around and just started going, ha, 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 ha. And then he was just like, right, well, I guess, that's it then. He's just a normal guy. Well, it'll be fine. We'll get on with this. So, yeah. But yeah, hopefully the next one will be okay, Fingers crossed.
Who's the star in it? Do you know?
I don't know anything really about it.
No, not me.
He did talk a little bit about it then and said that, but he didn't want to talk too much about it. But
Yeah.
I don't mind Predators. I don't think
Awful.
that's bad.
Terrible
Oh,
film.
Okay, I don't
Absolutely
mind
terrible. But never mind. That's a different
Yeah.
show. Well, at least we can all agree on this Predator film. I think we're all pretty much
Yes.
happy with this. So this time, Chris, you can start this time. Where do you think it should go in the list?
I don't know. It's a difficult one. This. Can someone else go?
I think it should be number 3. I think it's better than everything on that list except Jurassic Park and Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm totally happy with that.
I think it should be number 4.
Below Wally.
Yeah.
See, it's hard
it's
because
For
I
me,
just,
like,
two.
Wally is already 4 or 5 places too high for me anyway.
It's Predator 2. It's not, it's a good film, but it's not like
I just find it so hard because I love it so much. I don't think I should
Wally
be.
with Oscars,
We haven't got to be.
actually
We
good.
haven't got. But this isn't the world's list. This is our three list, isn't it? This is the three of us deciding. We're the authority here.
It does the rare thing of being a really good sequel, and there are so few really good sequels. So I do think maybe it deserves to be higher than,
As well,
maybe.
just for me, like there's not many films that I can pop that if it's on, like it comes on TV, I will just watch it. If someone says, "Do you want to watch it?" I will just watch it. Predator 2, I will always watch it.
Yeah.
I can't say that about Wally or anything below that.
Yeah.
Really, to be honest with you.
Three. I say 3 too. Come on.
You do like it, Chris, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great film. Great film.
What do you think?
Is
You're saying 4, aren't you? So
Yeah.
that's 1 for 4 and 2 for 3. So I think it's 3, isn't it?
Okay. What if I say 5?
Well, you know, it's too late. Too late. Okay, so we have a new number 3, Predator 2. We're getting that's a good top 3 there: Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Predator 2. But I think someone's about to gatecrash the party. In part
Hell
3,
yeah.
we'll be talking about aliens. Join us. It's part 3, and we're on to our final film of the day. From 1986, James Cameron's Aliens, which, if you listen to this podcast, you probably have seen, hopefully have seen, being one of the quintessential science fiction films.
Hell yeah.
This is my intro, isn't it? So,
Yes.
if you've not seen it, go and watch it, then come back, because I'm going to spoil it, and you don't want it spoiled. But basically, Ellen Ripley, who's in the first Alien, has left the Nostromo and been in a deep sleep for 57 years. And she finally is picked up by the forces of Earth and told that her daughter's dead, and no one really believes that it was an
Spoiler
alien.
alert.
But they can't believe it. Yeah. And she is alarmed to hear that LV-246, the planet from the first film, has been colonised. And she's all like, mate, what are you doing? There's aliens there.
Yeah.
And they were like, don't worry about it. Cut to aliens fucking it up on the planet. So, Paul Reiser, playing Burke, a fantastic role,
Yeah.
says, we're going to go back there and we're going to kick those aliens' butts, guys. I've got my crack squad here, but we need an expert. So Ripley,
Is that
join
all?
us. No, hang on. So Ripley...
No, that was a line. Sorry.
Oh, right.
You know when she
Oh,
goes
right.
mad. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't pick up on that. Anyway, so yeah, she goes again, leaves Jonesy the cat. Poor old Jonesy. He misses out again. And he's seen some shit, hasn't he, Jonesy?
Yeah. He should have his own spin-off series.
He should really, shouldn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she leaves Jonesy, goes back to the planet, and all hell breaks loose. And it breaks loose in a fantastic genre-creating manner. This is the first film that ever said, what if we make a brutal science fiction war film? And it just turns the Alien format on its head. And to be honest, this is one of the greatest films of all time, in my opinion.
Yes.
One of the best sequels as well, like because it changed the genre of what the first film was as well.
Yeah,
That was what's
totally.
clever.
Yeah.
It sort of...
It
yeah,
wasn't a monster film anymore. It was a combat movie, and it's like
Yeah. When we talk about Predator 2 doing something with the formula, the only reason it can do that is because Aliens defined how to make a sequel different from the first film, doesn't
Yeah,
it? It is the blueprint for what you do. You take the core elements of it, a character or two, an idea or two, and you just flip it on its head totally. And in a way that so many films after it completely fuck up.
And in the modern
it doesn't
world,
fuck up.
sequels and prequels just don't know how to do that. They just do
Yeah. No.
remakes.
The problem with new films, and this is the problem that Prometheus had and Alien Covenant, whatever, will have, and a lot of all these films have, is that this obsession with making a franchise and not ending a story and linking everything up, isn't it? And what Aliens does is it continues a franchise while telling a complete story, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it in a way, isn't it? That it starts nice and quietly, kicks off, goes mad, and ends quietly, and you don't need anything else. You don't need to have seen Alien 1, do you, really?
No.
Not really, no. No, not really. I mean, they meant you see the pictures, don't you, of the crew, and you probably, if you hadn't seen Alien, you'd be a bit like, oh, I'd like to know what happened to them. But, you know, they fill it in very well. I mean, that whole, the kind of hearing scene is really clever way of doing backstory, but also doing forward story. You know, it's a really good highlighting of the fact that it is her versus the establishment and the corporation. You know, that's a great scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I often like doing her little rant whenever someone says to me, "Are you done?" or "Is that all?" I just go, "No, that's not all, because it's just one of them things gets in here. You can kiss all this shit, all this bullshit that you care about. Goodbye."
It is one of the most quotable films of all time, isn't it, really? I mean, endless lines from it. Obviously, the Game Over Man, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Coming
out of the goddamn walls.
Yeah. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
The terrible wandering accent.
I'll come to Newt in a bit anyway, because that's a separate little thing. But
Vasquez. Didn't say legal alien Vasquez.
I mean, it's a good. I think that ensemble casting. I'm pretty sure that's an invention of that film as well, isn't it? That the army platoon like that with those particular sort of stereotypes, you know, the hard.
I think what it does is it takes a war film cliche, but by having women in there and different ethnicities and all that, and it doesn't go on at what. So I mean, going back to Edge of Tomorrow, which kind of went on about, oh look, it's a woman. Oh wow, look, she's really tough. Oh, but not really. She's got feelings. She falls in love with Tom Cruise. This just has women who are women. They're tough. They're capable. They're intelligent.
Yeah.
And they kick ass. And they're equal to everyone else. And that's why it's progressive and brilliant, because it doesn't go on about it.
There's a great shot when they're first on the ship and they're having dinner, and like Bill Paxton that are like going, oh, do you remember this girl we saw, and oh, she had crazy poontang or whatever, and they're being like all like masculine, and Ripley, Sigourney Weaver just does like this little like very like subtle eye roll, which you know just disarms it all like straight away. No talking, nothing, just instantly. You just know that she doesn't give a shit what they're talking about. She knows who she is, what she's doing, and you know it completely. It kind of has its cake and it eats it too, doesn't it?
Well, she's
really?
around the military now, isn't she, as a character?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But it gives you've got that sort of bravado and nonsense in the military, but it completely disarms that and says, how fucking stupid are these people talking like this? But at the same time, it lets them kick ass and be, you know, it's very clever. It's
the fact there's so many of them, I forgot half of them, because you don't realise that they just get bumped off so quickly.
Do you not think there should be more, though? Like a ship that
There's
big.
a lot of them. Well, yeah, and the ship that big, yeah.
If it was a proper, like, that ship is massive, and it's got, I guess it'd be used for, like, ground invasions and stuff. There's not many guys on it.
No.
Unless it was really just set up just for that mission.
Or deep space travel, is it? Because it's got to be big because it's a deep space ship.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly designed ship, isn't it? Like,
everything.
Like a massive handgun in space.
I was watching the making of that whole film.
Yeah.
Is like a puppet show as far as everything is done practically. The nuke going off at the end is a load of cotton wool, and then there's a round bit of cotton wool with a light underneath it which lifts up. So that's that mushroom cloud that lifts up out of the. It's incredible.
Yeah, that shot looks incredible, doesn't it? Because how old it is. That final shot looks really, really good. I mean, all of it stands up. Watching it in Blu-ray. Well, for one, like having obviously seen this hundreds of times on VHS, it's kind of like a new film watching it on Blu-ray because it is so clear. I don't know if you've watched the HD version, but there's so much detail that you just, I'm not used to seeing at all. It's incredible. But I think the only problem is it betrays the miniatures a little bit, doesn't it? The miniatures of the tank don't look too good
and the sets,
on Blu-ray.
The sets, it starts to look like sets when they're outside.
I guess,
definitely. And that's the only sort of downside. But it's such a good film, you can suspend disbelief, can't you? With it. It certainly.
Oh yeah,
like you say,
it's great. It's you're there, you're bought into it. It's a complete shitstorm of aliens and guns, and it's great.
It's the total design of it, like you say. Every element has just been made for that film. You believe that world completely. And
what it also does is obviously Alien, the original Alien, which to me I still think it's a better film. I love them both, but I prefer the first Alien. The first one, obviously, is an exercise in tension and suspense. It's a Hitchcock film, isn't it? Really, in space.
Yeah.
And the brilliant thing that Alien 2 does is it takes that element, because you've got to be 40 minutes in at least until they even fire a gun, I think.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And that build-up is so torturously slow, and it's slower in a special edition. That's the thing special edition does. Makes that longer.
Yeah.
And the payoff is so much greater for it, because...
And they've used what the first one did, because we know how dangerous one of them is.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
But like you said about Hitchcock, what it does as well is it tells you, even if you hadn't seen the first one, it tells you very early on, look, these aliens are real. She's not bullshitting. This isn't in her head. This stuff exists. So you know that she's right, and they're all completely wrong. And that bit when... I think that shot when she sees the chest buster when they're in the and it keeps cutting back to kind of her face and her reacting to it coming out.
Yeah.
And it's so clever to keep cutting back. But it's funny because in Predator 2, they pretty much rip that whole scene off.
Yeah.
Where she starts, when Gorman just loses it, Danny Glover does the same thing as Ripley, just like taking control. And tell it's kind of an odd, weird. I don't know. I'm sure it's deliberate, but it's kind of an odd. I never noticed how similar those scenes were.
I don't think it's deliberate. I just think that Aliens is such a. I think that all films after it do rip from it in some way, don't they? I mean, the two films today have. I don't think you can help but rip from it, because it does so much to define.
There's a
how
lot of
to
films
make
that owe
an
things
action
to
film.
it, like
Definitely.
Starship Troopers and every combat movie like that.
Both
basically.
Predators.
Yeah.
It's Independence Day, even, Chris, your favourite. A lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I
The
mean,
way they do the military bit.
you can. What I find really interesting is when you read up on like Cameron's when he wrote Avatar.
Yeah.
He came up with the ideas for Avatar when they were making Aliens,
Yeah.
and he was pitching it to the cast then.
Yeah.
And he knew it was way beyond his technical ability to do Avatar as he wanted it. And he revisits a lot of stuff in Avatar, like the loaders, the mech loader
Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
all the drop ships and all the military side of stuff is it could be lifted directly from Aliens, all the technology, and it's like he's had a second go with different technology, basically, and it's got the same messages like nature, man against nature and all that sort of stuff. And
Is that the message of Aliens, though? I don't think
well,
that's the message of
I
Aliens.
think it's like there's a natural force, which we think we can control,
Can tame, yeah, and we can't.
and we can't. It's
Yeah.
the Jurassic Park model and all.
I think I like that Aliens hasn't. To me, it's not got a message other than, it's that thing in the dark, isn't it? There's a bogeyman out there, and it's going to get you, and that's it, really. It's like a horror film. Well, it is a horror film, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah, it is.
But that. I'm glad it leans into that.
And it's kind of like Titanic in the sense of the water's rising. There's nothing we can do about the water. The mass of aliens is rising towards us.
Well, also
We've just got to try and step off this thing by the time. And also the reactor,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that reminds me of like Lance Henriksen. I think he's underused, isn't he, in this film?
But he's clever. It's clever because, again, if you've seen the first one, you distrust him as much as Ripley does, because
Totally,
you're like, well, she was right about the alien, so she's probably right about this android, and that kind of twist, it isn't a twist, but the twist, he plays it so creepy when he's analysing it. It's like, oh, it's beautiful, and she's like, oh, you admire it. Like, it is. He's clever to play it. He's otherworldly. He's inhuman, and you read that as creepy, but it's actually just that he's a robot. That's why he's like that.
I love that whole thing about the company they weave in then, and how they're trying to get this, because they keep that going all the way through the Alien films, don't they?
Yeah,
to their detriment eventually. But
yes.
I mean, you get the great payoff in Alien 3 of like him being reactivated as a broken android and stuff, and that's all.
Yeah,
I love Alien 3. I can't wait to do that. But anyway, so great film, but there is one reason for me that this film is not better than Alien.
Not better than Predator 2.
No, it's better than Predator 2, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not better than the first
Alien.
Alien.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the first Alien. And that is Newt.
Yeah.
Well,
I cannot fucking stand Newt. Like, all the screaming, the constant screaming, you don't need the screaming. I get that, like, there's this motherly thing, and like, that she starts
Exactly.
losing a
That's
child
what's
and
important.
gains a child. I get that, and
Yeah.
you know she's got a family at the end. She's got Michael Biehn and her and Newt. It's a family. I
Yeah.
get that, but there's a way of doing that without having her scream so fucking much. Just that awful scream over and over again. It's terrible.
Yeah,
And all the line
I think
reads
there's
are
been
awful.
more annoying kids in film.
yeah, I agree.
All kids in films are annoying. Name a kid in a film is not annoying.
I don't know about that. I don't think all
Name
kids
a
are
kid in a
annoying.
film that's not annoying.
Elliot.
E.T.'s terrible all the way through. Everything about E.T.'s terrible. So you're not going to win me over there.
Save that for the ET podcast.
The only kid I can think of, which because I had this discussion with Lucy yesterday, is
Was
Hit
this
Girl,
the-
Hit Girl in Kick-Ass.
Kids are annoying conversation.
No, because literally, I mean, and then she said to me,
the little insight
It's a funny
into
way to talk
Sam's
about,
life
yeah.
here.
because she said to me when we were watching it, she was like, when Newt turned up, she said, before it happens, I know what you're going to say, because every time I watch it, I say the same thing, because she drives me up the fucking wall. I just cannot stand
Kids
her.
are annoying. Kids
Yeah.
smell.
She's so annoying. She can barely
Babies
act.
smell.
She just
But
screams a
did
lot.
you must have read that they went through like 200, like 100, 200 people to get to her.
And that's the
So
best they got.
How annoying were the others that this is the one they got?
They only
you know.
come at night, mostly.
No,
On the doco, they've got the grown woman on the doco
Yeah, yeah.
talking about how she wasn't mentally, harmed by being in that. Like, which I think that would have been quite harrowing as a kid. Like
God, yeah,
being
yeah,
in that where it comes out the water.
yeah. Oh God, yeah, yeah.
It's a problem Cameron's got because Terminator 2 is also ruined by young John Connor.
Oh, but I think yes, I agree. They're annoying, but they're so important. Like Newt is an important character, and she is annoying. But I can see past the annoyance to get to what the not message, but the dynamic of the motherhood, the kind of perversion of motherhood in the Queen, and
Yeah.
then motherhood. That is all important, and you need that child to have that.
Yeah, that's a good theme, a big theme.
It's a good theme. You don't need it, I don't think.
Oh,
They
But I
come
think
back
it's
to
good
that
there.
in the fourth one, don't they?
But and in the third
Yeah.
one, yeah, because she's got the Queen in her in the third, hasn't she? And that great shot of her jumping off into the fire with the alien.
oh
coming up.
yeah.
I love the third one. I think the third one's better than the second one.
Oh
but
no fucking way! No fucking way!
maybe
at
not.
all.
We'll wait
No.
for that. But no, I just think she just had to scream less and act better, and I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
best.
that's fine. I agree.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. She's the weakest. She's the weakest part in an amazing film.
My buddy's in it. The Mac McDonald. He's in the.
He's only in the special edition version of it.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's not in the theatrical cut.
I was going to say I've seen him in a version of it, but
Yeah, he's in because I remember first seeing that special edition and just knowing him from Red Dwarf and thinking, oh
Yeah.
shit, that's the guy.
yeah,
yeah. The original,
he's got
the
a-
other version must be rubbish then, because there's so many good things in the special edition.
It's still a great film. It just gets to the action a lot faster in the
Yeah.
original version of it.
Yeah.
You don't have as much build up, and you don't get the turrets either, do you? The
No.
automatic
There's
turrets,
no
they're not
auto
in it.
turrets in the other one.
No, no,
No.
Oh, right, okay, because that's
No.
quite a good. That's a good bit.
That's brilliant. And again,
Yeah, it's
like
really
you're
good,
saying
yeah.
about modern films, a modern film would have just shown you thousands of alien carcasses,
Yeah.
whereas that just shows you that number going down, which is so much more
Yeah.
kind of creepy and like
Yeah.
threatening. That are they going to run out? Are they going to have enough bullets? Like that's so tense. Even that,
brilliant.
the tension in that is
But
brilliant.
that's an important
Fantastic.
bit to the story when they doesn't it go down to about 5 rounds and then they leave
Yeah.
and they go. Oh,
Elsewhere.
they go.
Yeah.
Oh, they must have thought they. How could they have known that it was by 5 rounds?
'Cause I
down
think-
to,
If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
I think because after that you get the facehugger scene
yeah,
when they be double crossed.
yeah.
So it kind of, and obviously shit goes bad then, so you kind of don't need that transition because
Well,
the transition is.
But there's
that
a
he
bit in that
betrays them.
where it shows the intelligence of the aliens in the sense that they were
Oh, yeah,
testing
yeah.
the boundaries of the
yeah.
defenses.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's a much better film in its extended form.
Yes, it is. The special
No
edition
doubt.
is better. Yeah.
Whereas I think the special edition of Alien is worse, without a doubt.
Oh, okay.
The first
I'm
one
not
is
sure
not
I've
as
seen
good.
that.
But
No,
they made
me
that because
neither.
when they brought out the DVDs, they'd already got the special edition of that one that's done for the Laserdisc release, Aliens, and they made extended versions of the other three
Yeah.
for that DVD collection. So obviously they're less thought through because it was just like a cash grab to make money off DVDs. So it's not as. But what he's saying, Ridley Scott's all like, "This is my definitive version."
He's great in the
but-
in the docks. He's
Yeah.
there with a cigar on one of them.
I know. He's such a He loves to swear, doesn't he?
It's like they sent the crew down, the behind the scenes crew. They were shitting themselves because it's Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And they've gone and set up the cameras, and he turns up and he just lights a cigar, and no one's man enough just to tell him this is going on DVD. He's put the cigar out. But I mean, there's some interesting things about health and safety on this film.
Okay.
Like, because there's the there's the armored personnel carrier thing on this on Aliens.
Yeah.
That was a truck at is a towing vehicle for airports for like pulling 747s.
Yeah.
That's what it was converted from.
Okay.
And it malfunctioned and basically smashed into the cameras. And the cameras, literally 5 minutes before, they just said, "Shall we just switch these cameras on and then step away?" And this thing, which weighs about 40 tons and normally pulls like aircraft around, just took everything out. Just
Oh my God.
demolished everything. It would have been Adrian Biddle, the DOP who shot this, would have been dead. It just would have been total carnage.
Wow.
And there was all sorts, which because there's a lot of fire in it, and it was all shot in Pinewood, and also the art director saying that because it was shot in Pinewood, and Pinewood was pretty run down in the 80s, and how the base on the planet is shown is quite windswept and it's all rusted and it's all shitty, and like you can imagine people just running from like shipping container to shipping container to go between their house and like the shitty bar and stuff. Like Pinewood was like that. So Cameron was walking around and he saw a big rusted door and just said, "That's the sort of rust I want for the base."
Yeah.
Where now it's very manicured and like it's nothing like that now, but yeah, I mean, it's just this film, because it was such a practical film, I just find it so interesting, and I don't think there's been a film like it. I think it's probably one of the last ones like that.
I think that's the beauty of 80s films, though, isn't it? Especially to, I think, people of our generation who obviously we grew up with that. We grew up with the transition, didn't we, from that to CGI. And I think the nostalgia involved.
Well,
in
this
that
is not a high-tech film.
Isn't it?
This to make this film.
But I think if you were 10 years younger, you'd just think it looked shit, wouldn't you? But I think
Yeah,
we're an interesting thing because we pine for that kind of...
But this is interesting because it's not high tech. This is low tech. The only
That's what
reason
I'm saying
why
to you.
you or me can't make Alien is because they just used to throw tons of money and tons of people.
Exactly.
at it.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like,
Yeah.
I think that the fact you can appreciate that
Yeah.
is a product of when you were
Yes,
born.
definitely, yeah.
In that, like, you know, we are aware it's a model.
Oh
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
see
I
that
show
it's
my
thing,
young
but
cousins like Jurassic Park or something. They just start laughing.
yeah, like that.
And
With that it is a nostalgia for like
Yeah.
the chunkiness of real
Yeah.
things, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the feeling of weight about things that that definitely.
But you get better performances with people. You have to be. It's a certain type of actor that can act to a green screen to something not being there. Whereas everyone in this is brilliant because if everything is there, they can just react and act with it. You know.
Yeah.
Like that scene,
it definitely...
the scene in the end of Ripley and the alien. I mean, it's all done in their looks between each other. You know, where you think they're just gonna, she's gonna take Newt and she's not gonna destroy the eggs, and it's all like, oh, okay. And then that egg opens, and she's just like, fuck this, and just like starts burning everything.
Yeah.
It's all and I don't think that would have worked if she was just staring at a green screen. All right, now
totally.
pretend that it's looking at you. And it just wouldn't have been as good. I just don't think you've got those performances.
You're forced to like rely on like staging it better because you can't have an alien flipping 500 times and flying at the fucking wall and going around his back.
Yeah.
He's going to stand there. He's a puppet. He can't do much. So you've got to do it all in the staging and the atmosphere, and you've got to sell it in the performance, haven't you?
But they make a sequence out of like maybe 5 versions of the same alien because there'll be a bit where it jumps to the spot, a bit where it explodes.
Yeah,
as a puppet, a bit where it gets run over. It's so practically and clever. It's so clever how they made it.
Also, the way they when they show them like crawling and stuff, they'll put a bit of light on them for like a half a second, won't they? So you can get the sense of movement and stuff like that, but you can't see. Oh, it's a man in a suit. It's such a clever way of.
They reverse the film. They ramp it. It's so clever.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Another good thing about it, the music, right? James Horner.
Yeah.
So he had to recycles a lot of his stuff anyway. Now there's a little bit of tune in this film which is identical to Star Trek 2, and also identical to what's the espionage film with Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan film?
Fugitive.
Oh no, the Jack Ryan one,
Patriot Games.
yeah.
So there's literally the same piece of music in that film as well.
Oh, right.
And basically, I think James Horner was only like instructed on this film maybe with a month to go,
Okay.
and it was a major falling out between him and Cameron on this because Cameron spent more time with the sound designer working out what the smart gun would sound like. You know, that sort of like thing. Literally, they spent weeks doing that, and it really pissed off James Horner.
I think that shows though, because I don't think the music's very good in.
No, there's some bits where like the drop sequence, the music's just tick 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 tick, like just it's so basic, and it really is because it was a rush job, and that's
It's
not
just when you get the cues from Alien 1, that's when it sounds good, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Really.
yeah. When there's actual orchestral depth to it, but yeah, it's really interesting that you should look into the music of that because it shows what even a good composer, when there's a rush job going on,
Can't do it.
and
yeah.
back then because the technology, they literally had to score it and then go to an orchestra to get it played.
I hate that thing, the thing that plays over the start of the film and the end of the film. There's a temp track in your film, wasn't it, for a bit? That meow, 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 like the falling string.
Yeah.
I hate that piece of music. It's so like.
Which one's that?
I don't know.
Not the bada bada bada. No, that's from Alien.
It's like a string, like one violin, like falling down the scale, like
I know the bit you mean.
Like a gliss down, like glissando down, like.
No, it's slower than that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
you used it over the scene with Matt McDonald in your film
Oh right. Oh, I'll have to have
on
a
the
look.
temp.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not
don't
great
like it.
music.
And that's in
It doesn't
Aliens,
matter, does
is
it?
it?
Because it's the very start of Aliens, and it's at the very end of Aliens as well. I think.
Yeah, I just think the music on that drop sequence where they're all loading up into the tractor and then they all get into the ship and then it drops. That could have been an iconic scene.
Like Clondalkin drop in Star Trek
yes,
Troopers.
exactly like that's exactly what I'm talking about. If that would have been correctly scored. Now,
definitely.
if you look at what James Horner did, I think about the same time we must have done Star Trek 2 is the best. That is his best
it's
work.
older.
Full stop. Like
that's
that
a lot
is
earlier.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just one thing about music while I think about it. In Predator 2, do you remember the moment that they bring the Predator theme into Predator 2?
No.
It's in the police station when Danny Glover's like running up the stairs to go and talk to Gary Busey. That's when they bring the main theme out of Predator back in.
Right. Yeah.
That's a bit odd.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like I don't know.
Didn't they don't have it at the end though when we see all the other Predators? No.
Oh yeah, it's in quite a lot
Yeah.
after that. But the first time there's about
That's
half
so
an hour of
odd.
the film, it doesn't come in, and he just comes in and he's running around the police station. You're like, this is okay.
Yeah.
Not the moment to drop that maybe, but never mind. Strange. All right, I think that's enough Aliens talk. So I'll start this time with my ranking. For me, this is number 1, without a doubt.
What on the list?
Yeah, so far, yeah. Better than Star Wars, better than Jurassic Park.
I think it probably is 1 or 2, but yeah, probably 1.
Where do you think, Chris?
It's not a better standalone film than Jurassic Park. As a story, as a sit down, let's watch a piece of entertainment. I don't think so. Now, I'm not saying it's a great film. Don't get me wrong, but
Is it better than Star Wars 4?
don't start mucking with my Jurassic Park, man. Or we're gonna have words.
Is it better than Star Wars 4 though, Chris?
I wouldn't have had Star Wars 4 at the top anyway.
I know, that's why I said it. Because it is better than Star Wars. Well, I don't know. For me,
It is better than Star Wars 4, yeah.
personally, there are 2 better science fiction films than this for me.
No, you can't say now. It's just
No, not necessarily what they
everything.
are.
You can.
But I'm just
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to. Like, just
Okay.
in,
Are they
from
already
what
on
I
the
know-
list?
No, they're not. No.
Okay.
From what I know so far about science fiction films, there's a lot still to watch.
Millions, infinite. There's
Yeah,
to watch.
there's not many I would put higher than this.
It is really good.
Like Aliens to me is Star Wars is great. It's a great fun time. Jurassic Park's like a great fun time as well. It reminds me of a kid. Great stuff like that. But Alien 1, Alien 2, and Alien 3 are something you don't often get a film this like well made and this violent. Like if you're going to get a horror space science fiction film, it'll be something trashy and crap. Like Leprechaun in space, something like that. Yeah. You don't often get Event Horizon is a good example of them trying to get to those heights. But it's not a great film, is it, Event Horizon?
No.
Because it's very hard to have a big film that is a scary film, is a violent film, but it's still a blockbuster film. They don't happen very often at all. And I love a big violent film. I love a lot of action. I love space, and it's the only one that for me. Like I don't, as you've probably guessed from the list, and as you two know, and everyone listening probably knows, I don't like schmaltz. I don't like romance. I like something a bit harder, and that's
That's Aliens.
It does it in a bigger way than most things are allowed to get away with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard because it is a sequel, but it is, again, like Predator 2.
But it's not, is it?
The
It's
most
not a
amazing... But it is. It is a sequel.
But it isn't, because it doesn't steal from the first film. It doesn't make the first film worse or repeat the first film. They are two separate, fantastic films that happen to be in the same universe.
It's a sequel in the sense that everyone had seen Alien and it had to work as a sequel.
You could watch Aliens without Alien.
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about when it happened and it had a claim when it came out.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it in the sense of we're considering each film separately, yeah?
Yeah.
On its own merits.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's very good. I
feel like I'm losing this fight.
No, I don't want to argue on this because it's a good one, but for me, just personally, Jurassic Park is the best film ever made. So,
so you're saying it's three?
So
you're saying it's three then?
Fight on this JP issue.
We shouldn't have put it in so early, should we? Really?
Yeah, we shouldn't have.
Oh well.
So are you saying it's three then, Chris?
Yes.
Alex,
so I think it's one or two, I would say, and I can't. That's my I just because it is. Yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to think of it without thinking about
Why the hell
Alien.
is Star Wars Episode 4?
It is that good? No, it's. I think that should be
a
where
brilliant
it is.
film.
It is a brilliant film.
Yeah.
This is tough.
It's very tough.
Well, I guess if Chris is saying 3, I'm saying 1, and you're saying 2, Alex, it's going to be number 2, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, I'm saying 1 or 2. So
you're saying 1 or 2. Could you persuade to say 1?
No,
only?
you're saying 2.
Well, Chris, do you think Alien's better than Star Wars Episode 4, or not?
Yes, yeah, but that's...
You do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I would sit down and watch Aliens more times than I would watch Star Wars.
Right. So I'm getting the list a bit.
But there's
here.
the anomaly of the Jurassic Park issue.
But forget that. So it's a straight. So Alex thinks it's below Star Wars, and I think it's above. Forget everything else further down the list.
No, you can't do that.
In a list of 2, where would you put it?
Okay, well, I'd probably I'd accept if I can knock Star Wars off 1, which I think is probably more important to me than it being below Jurassic Park. I would be happy to do that.
I think it is. I think it should be 1 because I think what it deals with.
As it stands, I'll take 1 or 3. I won't take 2.
There's no way I'll take 3 because there's no way it's worse than Jurassic Park.
Well, no, it's 1, not then. 3. I think it is 1. What the themes it deals with are better than Star Wars. Star Wars is great, it's fun, but you're right. Aliens.
You need a little sound effect, when we
we should have
when someone manages to talk.
You need the Predator noise.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's 1.
I'm writing it in. It is there.
Wow, this has been a revelation this week.
I think if any negotiators would like to listen back to the tape there, that was a masterclass in group manipulation there.
Oh my god, we're just his puppets. It's science fiction puppets.
Yeah. It's when Alien 3 is the number 1 next time.
Oh, fuck off.
When he tries to slip in an obvious anomaly like Armageddon or something.
I will. No, because that's the problem. The only problem with Aliens 3 is the way it ends and how fucking dare Aliens end so well. Aliens 3, you fucks that ending.
So a little spoiler for Alien 3 thing. The best thing about Alien 3 is that it starts them killing Newt and killing Michael Biehn. I love the boldness of saying, "Fuck you, you liked Aliens. Fuck you, they're dead." This isn't Aliens 2. No. This is its own thing.
No, this is British people in a prison drinking tea. This is what. And we're not talking about Aliens 3 right now.
That is a great film.
No, it's not. It's shit. It's shit. But anyway.
The alien dog alien.
It's good, but I'm not sure because it's so minimalist compared to Aliens. I
love it.
No.
Absolutely love it. Anyway, that's a different argument to have in the future. For now, there is a new number one. For the first time since the first week, there is a new number one. Aliens has knocked Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope into number 2. Universal
when I said, the guy who, the black guy who's like the boss of the army guys on Aliens.
Apone.
Yeah,
Apone. He was in that other movie, They Live. The actor.
No, he wasn't. That's Keith David. That was Keith David, and you're a racist.
No, I'm not. It's the same guy.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's really, really not. That is not Keith David.
Oh.
Because he was a real Marine, wasn't he? I read that he was.
Can we cut
he was a real Marine,
the podcast and roll back to before I bought that point?
This is a complete revelation.
That's why I said. That's why I said he was actually in the army. That's why I said that on that last podcast. Because he was in the army. He was in the Marines. This guy was.
We've seen somebody today, Chris, who you should like. In Predator 2.
Yeah.
Did you recognise anybody there from Independence Day? No?
No. Who?
I'm a bigger fan of Independence Day than you, obviously, then. Gary Busey's second in command.
Oh, yeah. That
guy is in Independence Day. He works in the military in Independence Day.
Yeah, he's in tons, that guy.
He's the guy who, when they go, is that glass bulletproof? And he shoots the glass. It's that guy.
The guy the older guy?
No, the one at the end who says, "You fucked it up," and Danny Glover's like, "They'll be back. You'll get another chance." That guy.
Yeah. That guy is the guy who shoots the bulletproof glass.
Because he didn't really do anything after the Independence Day. That guy.
No. Well, he didn't need to, did he?
He was invisible, as a character in that film.
Well, not to me, maybe to you, but to true Independence Day fans like me.
Yeah, to you, shouldn't have been.
He was like the boss of Area 51. Yeah.
Right, okay, so there we go. There are now 15 films in the list.
Can we cut the racist bit out?
Yeah. Well, I was going to, but I can't now because you just referenced it again, so no one knows what you're talking about.
No. And actually, now you should leave it in because you can't just have me going, "Can you cut the racist bit?" That sounds a lot worse. That sounds way worse.
Okay.
How dare you say that about Danny Glover, Chris? How dare you?
I don't know how you're going to get out of this one.
Wow. All right. Before I mention next week's films, I should probably say any complaints or comments, get in touch at mail@sciencefictionratingsystem.com.
I can't even say it's because it was in the 80s when I saw them.
No. You probably best just move on. We're on Twitter at sfratingsystem.com. We're at Instagram at sciencefictionratingsystem. We are at sciencefictionratingsystem.com where the whole list is, and you can see all the lists going back spoiler free. If you've watched this, you don't need that. Yeah. Listen to this, sorry. So yeah, we're all over the place. But we're coming back next week with
We need comments. We need people. We want
some comments.
Anyone who's listened to this now, comment somewhere. Just post or comment.
Don't be desperate about it.
Just say yes. Just type the word yes or no.
Oh my god, we've got an email.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I've just checked 7 minutes ago. I'm not even making this up. I just thought I'd check.
Okay.
They can't be listening.
No, it can't be. But this is. Well,
unless they're Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow and they're doing this day on repeat.
Does anybody here know race relations?
They're onto us. They've got the wire tapped. Yeah. No, this is a genuine email. So, does anybody here know Tom Atkinson?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, Alex does. You should have said no. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Tom
I'll
Atkinson,
say no.
Cut that bit out. Ask the question again, Sam.
He's emailed in. Okay, sorry. I'll tell you what. I'll just say we've got our first email, and that's from Tom Atkinson. Second email. We've already haven't we from Lucy. Tom says, "Hey guys, he's loving the podcast. The list is coming along nicely." Correct. In fact, actually, this email. Right, I'll carry on. Hang on. It's Tom Cruise's birthday in July. Tom Cruise, yeah. We've mentioned today. What better reason to celebrate than the triple Tom whammy? How about Minority Report, Oblivion, and Edge of Tomorrow? Well, Tom, your dreams have come true. We've read your mind, and we've already featured Edge of Tomorrow today.
We knew that was happening. We're doing this day again, much like Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, he said after that, maybe War of the Worlds could be saved for an Alien Invasion special. So, Tom, we will take your suggestion on board, and in July, to celebrate Tom Cruise's birthday, we will be joining Scientology and watching Minority Report, Oblivion, and
We've got
War
to do
of the Worlds.
Battlefield Earth one day as well. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Tom, for getting in touch. If you'd like to get in touch, mail at sciencefictionratingsystem.com. You could be featured on the podcast as well. Next week.
Somnus is available on
We're not doing that bit yet.
Amazon. Anyone's got Amazon.
My dad bought it, Chris. So
Yeah.
You know that.
I've got his bank account details now.
It just sounds like a scam.
There's so few sales that it's coming through. Right.
Should you read the top 5 films rather than the whole list?
Okay, before I get to the next week's films, top 5 films are, number 5, it's WALL-E. At number 4, New In, Predator 2. Higher than I thought it'd get, but that's good, I like it. Number 3, Jurassic Park. Number 2 is now Star Wars 4, and number 1 is Aliens. There's your new top 5.
I was thinking, imagine when we got top 10, how many are going to be within the same universe? So you've got your Predator 2 and Aliens, and then how many Star Wars ones are going to be in the top 10? Do you think?
Who knows?
Hopefully
not too
Just
many.
an interesting thought,
It is, yeah. Okay, so next week we're going to do something new because we like to mix it up. We don't want to keep doing the same sort of thing. We've had bad films, we've had comedies, we've had big films, and now we're going to have some animated films because later in the month, Ghost in the Shell is being remade by Hollywood. Ruined by Hollywood, no doubt. With
Casting a white woman to play an Asian character. How racist.
Scarlett Johansson is going to star in that. If you don't know, it is a famous 90s Japanese anime. One of the few that sort of crossed over into Western culture. It's one that I'm particularly fond of. And we're going to watch that. But we're going to also watch 2 more animated films as well. We're going to watch A Scanner Darkly, which is Richard Linklater, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. His adaptation of the Philip K. Dick short story with Keanu Reeves. That film is very unique because it was sort of rotoscoped animation over live action, so watch that. Mm-hmm. And we're going to watch Paprika, which none of us has seen, but I am keen to watch, which is another Japanese film, which is... I'll just read you the synopsis.
Is this 2006?
That's the one.
Yeah.
In the near future, a revolutionary new psychotherapy treatment called dream therapy is being invented. A device called the DC Mini allows the user to view people's dreams. Those are our 3 films. A Ghost in the Shell. Sorry, not A Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell. Paprika and A Scanner Darkly. That's all, really. Where are we? Chris has got Somnus DVDs on Amazon. He's wanting to flog. He's also on Twitter at
Chris Redding.
Alex is on Twitter at
Love Horror on my website, Love Horror. Check it out if you love horror as well as science fiction, which obviously you do if you love Aliens and Predator.
Have you reviewed Aliens?
I think we have somewhere, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
did I review They Live? No, you did review They Live soundtrack for you.
Yeah,
right?
yes, you did, yeah.
I did review
little side jobs.
a film we should watch at one
It wasn't
point.
paid.
I reviewed the Halo film for you, didn't I? Which was...
Oh, God, that was terrible, wasn't
Thanks
it?
for that, Alex.
Halo film.
Yeah.
It is absolutely abysmal.
That won't be... I
Animated.
don't think we should make Chris
No,
watch
it's live
that.
action. It's live action.
Yeah, we shouldn't make Chris watch that. He would get
should,
so
yeah.
angry. But you should read the review because it's a hilarious review.
I'll send you my Blu-ray copy because I'm never going to watch that again. So I love horror. And I am samdraper.net for any of the music you heard in this week's podcast. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.